Today I've made the trip out to the picturesque village of Bodiam, just over the East Sussex border, for a morning of landscape photography. At the heart of this charming spot is Bodiam Castle, a subject I've photographed many times before. It's been a while though since my last visit, so I thought a pre-Christmas shoot here would be the perfect way to round off 2024. Weather this morning doesn't look too different to what it's been here in the southeast. Well, they're saying that there's a bit of blue sky actually coming through, so fingers crossed we might have a good day. But all in all, here in the southeast, it's been pretty dull and miserable for the most part. Nothing's changed compared to the last time when I went out to Coldham Longbarrow with the camera. Although I always have the attitude, might be a bit of a fair weather photographer at times, but I always have the attitude it's best to get out when it's not raining, because you never know, you might be pleasantly surprised. So fingers crossed we'll be able to have a good photo shoot out at what is a beautiful location today. It's actually the first time since last November that I've come out to Bodiam Castle. It is though a favoured location of mine, because as you can see, it's a real picturesque castle to come out to with the camera. However, I also find it a little bit difficult. It's a little bit of a difficult location to come out to with the camera, because I do find it easy photography at times. Of course, it doesn't mean though that when you come out to a location like this, you're restricted to taking shots of just the one subject, especially when you've got such beautiful rolling countryside. I've come out here in the past, I've certainly been able to take some beautiful shots away from the castle, that's for sure. And that's because each of us, we're only limited by the constraints of our own imagination. And I suppose you could be wondering, if I find Bodiam Castle sounds easy photography, why on earth have I come out here today then? Well, Christmas is coming up, isn't it? So with the festive season on the horizon, I thought it'd be good to come out and do a little bit of easy photography for a change. We don't have to make photography challenging all the time after all, do we? This shot here, this has always been one of my favourite scenes as I walk through a puzzle. It's always been one of my favourite angles to shoot the castle from. Got the bridge acting as a perfect leading line along towards the castle. At the moment, we've got some lovely Christmas wreaths on the doors in the distance. We've even got some lovely bunting, which creates a different scene here in front of us. It's one of these shots that when you come to a location, you can't not stop and capture it, can you? So I had come out here nice and early this morning. I wanted to try and get out, see if I'd get a sunrise this morning, because like I said at the start of the video, it's typical if you don't try and get out for something, more often than not, in my case, I'll wake up, go, I'm not going out for sunrise, get up and then see that there's a beautiful sunrise. I always like to try and get out nice and early just in case, but as you can see this morning, it's just a little bit too shy. The weather, as I've mentioned, it's just been dull. It's been a little bit miserable here this last week here in the southeast. If you don't try, you don't get. I've come out for this final shot to shoot at this corner of this magnificent, this picturesque castle down here in the southeast of England. Perhaps one of my favourite scenes to shoot from, just here on the corner of this moat. Don't get caught out though. Don't get caught out. As you can see, the moat goes round in a nice little square. But what you can get caught out here is the fact that at the moment we've got this lovely reflection of the castle in the water. We come too far over to the left, or sorry, if we go too far over to the right, the building, the castle, just starts to encroach ever so slightly on the land. You don't end up with that separation between reflection water and land. So just one thing to think about if ever you come out to shoot this magnificent building. You know, when I set up my compositions, I've always got a set theme. I always like to try and follow when taking any shot. If there's interest in the sky, I'll make sure that the lower vertical falls on the horizon. If there's not too much interest in the sky, if there's more interest in the foreground, I'll put the top vertical on the horizon. Now, what's frustrating about this particular scene here is, and I'll share the live view, is the fact that when I take a shot, I always like to try and make sure that the horizon is level. It's something I always got taught from an early stage when I got into photography. However, with this particular scene, I've got the moat, which I can use as my horizon. But when I do that, the castle doesn't look level. And then if I focus on the castle, make sure the castle is the horizon line, the moat in the background isn't going to look level. So it's a little bit of a quandary, if you ask me. I could also focus on the bridge, or I could concentrate on the bridge, have that as my horizon, make sure that's level. But then again, the bridge, sorry, not the bridge, the castle, the moat in the background, they will then not be level. So it's a bit of a difficult balancing act with this type of shot whenever I've been out here in the past. One good thing though is the fact that because we're out here early, we still don't have too much light. So it means that I can take a long exposure of the water without using an ND filter. I've got the ISO at 100, gone to f16, which gives me a shutter of 4 seconds, nicely smooth out without needing to put an ND filter on the front of the lens. Of course, I've been out here, I've been able to capture this scene from this spot on much better occasions. I've been able to get much better light in the past. But as you know, sometimes you've just got to deal with what you've got. I think this is where I'm going to end today's video. It's actually my last trip out before Christmas with the camera. I've got something different planned for next week's video. But until then, you take care. You have a great Christmas. I hope to see you on the next one. But for now, it's goodbye.